Hey guys, Fallout Lover here, back with another Fallout 76 video. Today in this video we are going to be seeing what is the best semi-automatic pistol in Fallout 76. So I get a lot of people asking me what the best weapon is, and I decided we're going to take a look at every single class of weaponry, and then from there we'll decide what the best weapons are. So in my first video I would like to do semi-automatic pistols, and this is probably going to be a two-part episode as some of the semis are energy weapons, and that will be the case with some other weapon types in the future. So I'm going to have to wait till the next update comes out, till I can do the energy guns. But for now, I'm going to focus on the ballistic weapons. And then when the energy guns come out, I will record those, and then I will give you a quick recap on what the winner is for the ballistics. So let's get right into the video, shall we? And one last thing I need to mention is how this is actually going to work. So the way I did this is I ran through West Tech with every single weapon that I recorded footage for, and I ranked them from slowest to fastest on which ones I was able to run through West Tech the fastest with. So the way these videos are going to work is the weapons that I can clear out West Tech the fastest with are going to be the better weapons, not necessarily the highest damage, as you will see here shortly. Another teeny little side note before we get into the video. Another thing I would like to mention is every weapon I've recorded footage for, I'm going to have roughly about 2-ish minutes of gameplay for, just so you can test yourself, or see for yourself, whether or not you think the weapon is good. So if the weapon looks good to you, you can try it out in your game, and see exactly how it goes for you. But for my test, of course, I went through the entirety of West Tech, so there's going to be a lot more than just the first 2 minutes. But I'm going to show you the first 2 minutes of the run that I ended up doing for each weapon, and this will continue into the future videos that I do as well. Before I go over the weapons that I recorded footage for, I would like to show you my perks I used. And here is another look at the mutations I had while recording this. So the first weapon you're going to be seeing is the single action revolver. This one took me 19 minutes and 20 seconds to clear out West Tech with, and this one is solely due to the reload. It just took forever. Now while it has a decent fire rate and decent damage, the reload just would not cancel at times, so I was forced to reload all 6 shots because it just didn't want to cancel reload. So this weapon isn't the worst, but when you get caught on a bad reload, this gun definitely will take you forever to kill whatever your target is. Up next we have the pipe bolt pistol. This one just made me want to bang my head against the wall. I did not like this one. Its damage once again was subpar, but it just felt so slow to use and so clunky. I did not enjoy it. but it did perform slightly faster than the single action revolver. This weapon took me roughly about 15 minutes and 56 seconds to clear out an entire round of West Tech with. Up next we have the pipe revolver pistol. This took me 13 minutes and 47 seconds. Now this one wasn't the worst. It was still pretty slow, but it actually didn't feel as slow, and I did enjoy the weapon. But as you can see, it's most definitely not the fastest, but it can definitely be a bit, well, if you're going to use revolvers, that is, it's definitely better than the single action. But it's also not really the strongest in terms of damage for revolvers, as you will see later. So while this weapon is most definitely usable, I wouldn't recommend it. I'd skip to another one on this list if I were you. But if you have to use this weapon, it's actually not that bad. I actually don't hate it. It really should be exactly where it is. I mean, it's a pipe weapon, you don't expect it to be the best, but it's definitely the second best of the pipe weapons. Up next we have the 44 Magnum. This took me 12 minutes and 20 seconds to clear out West Tech with. It was okay in damage, but honestly it was not that much better than the pipe revolver. It only beat it by like a minute, so honestly it's not that much of a gain. But it was a lot more easier to use because of course this thing just has better sights because you can put an actual reflex on it. So obviously it most definitely ranks above it, but it also beat it in terms of speed slightly. And once again, that is what we're going for here. Speed, not damage. Up next we have just the regular pipe pistol, which took me 11 minutes and 40 seconds. This thing shot pretty fast, but its damage wasn't the highest. So if you want a fast firing pistol, this one is definitely up there, but in terms of damage, once again, it just did not really do the best. But it does make up for that in fire rate. Up next we have the 10mm pistol. This thing took me 10 minutes and 38 seconds to clear out around a Westec with. It was once again a pretty fast firing gun. This one does of course more damage than the pipe pistol, which is why this one in particular beat that weapon. Coming in right above it, we have the Crusader Pistol, which isn't that much of a surprise as this is another 10mm weapon, but I had it chambered for 5.56 as it does slightly more damage, and I will be returning to this weapon again once the energy weapons get patched, as this does have energy receivers. So this gun will appear in the part 2, but for part 1, we're just going to stick with the regular ballistic receivers. So this one took me 9 minutes and 46 seconds, of course being faster than the 10mm pistol. The only problem I had with this weapon is I don't know if it's me, but personally I've never cared for this weapon because I found it easy to miss with. I never felt like the sights were as accurate as they could be, but it does beat the 10mm pistol, so of course it is an upgrade. coming in at the third spot for this round of testing is the Black Powder Pistol. This thing took me 9 minutes and 34 seconds. It most definitely is not the fastest in terms of fire rate, as you only have one shot before you have to reload, but most definitely it did the most damage. So if you're looking for the pistol with the highest damage, this thing wins. It had a lot of one-tap kills, so really, if you get some good legendary effects on this thing might honestly be the number one if you're going for damage. But of course, once again, since we're going for speed here, not damage, I just did not think this one deserved it. There are two weapons that I believe are slightly better than this one, but if you can give it a try, the Black Powder Pistol is actually really good. So don't pass on this weapon. It's actually really fun. If you can get one, I most definitely recommend you try it if you're doing a pistol build.
Harder than you. Westek, our not yours.
Coming in at the number 2 spot, we have the Western Revolver, which did slightly faster than the Black Powder Pistol, coming in only at 9 minutes and 30 seconds. So it's not much faster than the Black Powder Pistol, and same thing, it's not really much faster than the Crusader Pistol either. But in terms of fire rate, it had a decent fire rate. Of course, 6 bullets in the magazine isn't the best, but it's a revolver, so you get what you get. But most definitely, one of the better pistols. So if you can get yourself a really good legendary version of this gun, it most definitely will do some good damage. And it's definitely one I can recommend. But, of course, if you are familiar with the weapons of Fallout 76, you might already be able to guess what the number 1 spot is.
Has made human.
Coming in at the number 1 spot, we have the Gas Pistol. This one took me 6 minutes and 42 seconds, smoking the other weapons out of the water, which honestly, this might be able to compare with some of the rifles, and maybe even some of the better weapons I do when I do them. So this one might honestly actually have some of that top 20 weapon potential. So this is most definitely a pistol I can recommend. Now, you do have to charge it, which is its a little downside, but if you don't mind charging, it most definitely wins. Does not win in terms of damage, but in terms of speed, it most definitely can mop the floor with your enemies. And I gotta say, it's mainly due to the clip size being up to 27 with a drum mag. So this thing is absolutely insane. I did not have Demolition Expert on, but if you have Demolition Expert on, this will make the explosive rounds slightly stronger than they already are, because as you can see, this thing does do area of effect damage because the Gauss weapons are actually naturally explosive. So this weapon is just all around a really good weapon, and if you can get yourself a very good legendary version of this gun, you will most definitely have a blast with it. So in this gameplay, it does have legendary effects, but I tried to roll it to get the most least effective ones, as whenever you craft the Gauss pistol, it is automatically going to be legendary, and of course I didn't want that to skew with certain legendary effects, so I tried my best to get the ones that just did not do the best. So I believe the one I had was like bash damage and suppressors or something, which made them do less damage to me. And obviously, since I'm playing on a custom world, that didn't really affect me. But the Gauss pistol is my number one. It is definitely the best, and it deserves it. It most definitely is a really good pistol. So to wrap things up with this video, the top 3 weapons in this order, in my opinion, or at least based off of the testing that I did, would be, coming in at the 3rd spot, we have the Black Powder Pistol. Coming in at the 2nd spot, we have the Western Revolver. And coming in at the number 1 spot, we have the Gauss Pistol. Now, in this testing, I wanted to use the Black Powder Blunderbuss, but that weapon is not easy to get a level 50 version of, so I might have to wait till the part 2 on that one, so it might be mixed in with the energy guns, but it might not also be in that, but it is around the same ballpark as the Black Powder Pistol. But once again, since I couldn't find a level 51, I didn't want it to be once again skewed, because I was not going to use a level 21 just because it'd be inaccurate, as it does have a level 50 variant. So if I do ever find one, I will record a run with that and see what I do, and then of course I will have it updated when I do the part 2 for this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you do, I will be doing this for all the weapon classes in the game, even the ones that don't have a weapon class, like the chainsaw and the paddle ball. Those ones are going to kill me, but we'll get around to them eventually. And with that, I bid you farewell, and I hope all of you have a lovely evening. Good night, everybody.